three most efficient that were tested and passed, successfully passed. So that's how the selection was made. All right. About contact global. The LIS, actually we inherited the agreement that was consummated between LIS and Contact Global. So our predecessors entered into an agreement with Contact Global. Like I said, we inherited it and we had to honor that. So it is ongoing. They are responsible for the resident permits of foreign nationals. Okay, exactly. Okay, update about the visas arrival. Okay, we have an agreement with CETIS Solution. They are responsible for visas on arrival and re-entry visas. But the only exception is no gratis visas that are allotted to diplomats or diplomatic corps. Those are, for now, are being taken care of by LIS because that has not been planted into their system. So, and the next question was people processing documents outside of the headquarters. The CG, the Commissioner General, made a pronouncement some time ago that people wishing to process their documents must ensure that they deal with professional people and that LIS is no longer responsible for processing those documents. So if you saw an LIS personnel doing that outside there, I am not aware of why they're doing that, but maybe you should ask them the next time. But they are not doing it to bring it to the LIS. In terms of okay, the next question was, how many persons of foreigners are in the country? You know, as we speak, they are coming. So that is hard to predict. But like I told you, the Burkina Bees, because of the import of them, we decided to go and enroll them because they are illegally entering in their country. But these are all, at the time, ECOWAS citizens. So the free passage program cover them. So the enrollment is intended to regularize their status, meaning to grant them resident permit status so that they will be here regularly and legally. Oh, okay. About the sophistication of equipment at the borders. As I said, we have entered a memorandum of understanding, non-binding, with the SOMAPAC in IT, and that is being in the making. And one of now, to some degree, we have minimizing some of this, but for the most part, those arrests made at those borders are joint security operations. Some are made by immigration, some are made by LRA, some are made by LDEA. But what happens is that when those arrests are made, they are directed. I will hope that I've answered your question.
Garcia question over there.
So that question will be answered.
Garcia question over there.
Okay, the improvement update. Now we have about 500 plus on the standby. That We have projected, we have proposed. When that is accepted, there's a budgetary allotment forecast or proposed. When it is accepted or passed upon, then of course, we intend to treat another 500 plus, maybe 515, 520. But those that successfully pass the first test, they will only now take the medical examination to see that those that are going to be recruited, they are drug free, they are free from other infections. So that is, I believe I have satisfied you. Thank you.
Let me start by beginning to answer O'Neill Phillips. I guess O'Neill was the one who asked about Garcia, right? He was asking about the profile of Mr. Garcia. Well, O'Neill, as far as we know, as far as the government of Liberia is aware, the profile of Mr. Garcia states that he is not a convicted criminal. He has not been convicted in any courts in America. We are looking for a third country where Garcia can be deported to on humanitarian grounds. And Liberia has accepted to offer that safe haven for Garcia. So as far as his profile goes, that's what the government knows about Garcia. He's not a convicted criminal. Liberia has similarly provided a safe haven for people before, and that is why we're one of the oldest democracies in Africa. We've played this role before, and we are opting to play it today in Garcia's situation. That's how far I can answer that question. So it's purely on a humanitarian ground. There was a question asked about Minister Pay's wife taking on the social media. And I too have sympathy for Minister Pay, because not only is he our closest neighbor, but he's one of those who we exchanged words every time we met in cabinet-related activities. He's also my neighbor. We live in England. But this is the thing. And this is why you ought to have a civilized government. Honor our Constitution and honor this administration. We guarantee freedom to expression. It is her fundamental right to say whatever she wants to say. Nobody can stop her from saying that. But does it have a bearing on the president's decision? I don't know. As I said earlier, honor our Constitution in Article 56A. The president has the will to fire anyone he appoints in cabinet positions, except for tenure areas. I too read a post. Maybe if I were Pay's nephew, I would have said the same thing. We don't ask a question about the timing of Costa's post, just opposed to the president's decision. Well, I guess if the president were to hear this question, perhaps he would be laughing. Because the president that I know, the president that I sit in meetings with, will not be listening to Costa to take a decision, a national decision. I'm not sure. The question I pose to you back, because you're in the press, is this the first time that Costa has spoken? As much as it's rhetorical, you have to think about it. Is this the second time that Costa has spoken? Costa speaks every time. And I don't want to make Costa's podcast to be the center of this press conference. All I'm saying is the president takes an independent decision as the president of Liberia. So his decisions are not based on the mayor podcast. Also, Joseph asked me a question about Costa making an assessment of the performance of people at the ministry. We are not just coming here to speak, but we are also here to fight negative propaganda against the government. So if somebody feels that because we make statements and we rebut negative propaganda, we're not doing our job, maybe the person has to think again. And we do not work for Costa. The president who sent us here, if he feels we're not working, the same decision he took yesterday, he will likely just take it. So if you feel moved by what Costa says, as far as the ministry is concerned, we were placed here by the president. And we work at the whim and caprice of the president. If he feels that we are not doing the work he put us here to do, he will remove us similarly like he did yesterday. There was a question about the dismissed official. So when the president usually, so let's divide, let's try to understand this first. The officials that were removed yesterday were removed without any cost. So they're not being seconded to any investigation panel or something like that. So we have to set that straight. And that is why the president commended them for their service. Other officials who have been removed by the president previously, if they were removed for a cause, the president has turned them over to the requisite authority for investigation if they need be. Now, usually, it is the LSCC or any other investigative organ of the government. I'm not sure the president will want to turn that over for investigation and then start to run behind those cases to find out if or why they're not being investigated. The same journalists will come again and say the president is trying to influence the case. The executive is trying to influence the case. So when the president takes his decision, those individuals are turned over to the requisite parastatus to do the work they're supposed to do. As far as I know, some of these investigations are ongoing. And when we reach a conclusive decision, the press will be informed appropriately. Is that all? I think that's all.
Thank you.
So, yes.